What is going on, everybody? It's Alex back with another video, and today I want to talk about Epic Games Store and how they seem to kind of be backtracking a little bit. So for those of you that aren't aware, Epic Games has been making a bunch of exclusivity deals that's been rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. They've been paying these gaming publishers large sums of money to put their game on the Epic Games Store and then nowhere else for at least a select amount of time, usually 6 months or a year. There are a lot of reasons why customers don't like the Epic Games Store, and the fact that they're being forced to use this Epic Games Store is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, and people are completely in outrage. You guys know my stance on the situation. I think it's blown dramatically out of proportion, but it is an issue. I'm not really sure if this is due to them realizing that they overstepped their boundaries or if this was the plan all along, but basically Epic Games is now offering up sort of a deal if Steam cooperates. So for those of you that don't know, Steam actually offers a 70-30 split, which means for every game put on Steam, 70% of the revenue will go to the publishers and developers, and 30% of the revenue will go to Steam itself. This isn't necessarily great, but it's really not all that bad unless you compare it to Epic's revenue share, which is 88% going to the publishers and developers. This is a dramatically better revenue share, and it makes a lot of sense as to why developers are actually putting their games on there. Not to mention all of these exclusivity deals get this 88% revenue share plus a large sum of money that Epic Games is giving them up front to put their game on their store exclusively. According to Epic CEO Tim Sweeney, if Steam committed to a permanent 88% revenue share for all developers and publishers without major strings attached, Epic would hastily organize a retreat from exclusives and consider putting our own games on Steam. This is a really bold statement that I for sure didn't see coming, and I don't really think anybody saw coming. As I said before, I'm not really sure if they are just trying to take a step back or make themselves look more consumer friendly than they are by doing this, or if this was really the plan all along. Maybe they realized by doing this that they would be able to gather up a lot of market share, and then they could kind of bully their way in and then force Steam to do something different. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, I'm not really sure. Honestly, I feel like this is kind of Microsoft's approach to cross-platform play. Basically, Microsoft has been pushing cross-platform play for the past few years, which makes them seem very pro-consumer, and since Sony isn't wanting to do it, it makes them seem very anti-consumer. In 2019, it's very easy to point fingers at Sony for being anti-consumer for not pushing cross-plat, but that's simply because the market as a whole is pushing towards cross-platform and they are trying to stop it single-handedly. But this has not always been the case. For the past few years, basically Microsoft and Microsoft alone has been pushing cross-plat, and a lot of people didn't really realize how the whole situation played out. When it comes to consoles, Sony has the market share by a lot. If they were to allow cross-platform, that means that it would be a level playing field and they wouldn't have the upper hand at all. If they allowed cross-platform, they would be losing money. It's a really easy card for Microsoft to push. All they have to do is make Sony look like the bad guy for not enabling crossplay, which makes them look significantly more pro-consumer. But also, if Sony finally caves in and starts enabling crossplay, then it just gives them more market share. So in that situation, it's a win-win for Xbox, and I feel like that's kind of the same approach that Epic Games is doing right here. They've dug themselves into the hole and they realize this, and now they're trying to make themselves look very pro-consumer by getting Steam to hop on board with what they're doing. It's basically taking the lack of consumer knowledge about the industry and then turning it against them. Honestly, in terms of marketing, I don't think it's that bad of an idea. We'll see how it plays out for him. Basically, what he's saying that he's trying to accomplish is to be able to really get a true experience of play anywhere you want. And honestly, this is something that I think would be amazing. He says that if you play the game on multiple platforms, stuff you've bought can be available anywhere, no onerous certification requirements. Essentially, the spirit of an open platform where the store is just a place to find games and pay for stuff. To me, this is pushing towards something great. I don't know how long it'll take or even if it ever will get to a point like this, but a true open platform is ideal. Imagine that if all the servers were completely the same, every game, it didn't matter where you got it, it was just the same game, it operated exactly the same. That would be better for everybody. If you like Steam more, you can download Steam. This is where you're going to get the reviews, this is where you're going to have your friends list, this is where you're going to pay for the games, but as soon as you boot up, it's exactly the same. If another player wants to use Epic Games Store, if another person wants to use Origin, it all works the same. We have little hints of this. For example, I play Rainbow Six on the Ubisoft launcher, whereas other people play it on Steam. Obviously, I still play with them, but it really isn't a universal system. If you want to play Battlefield, you're playing on Origin. If you want to play Fortnite, you're playing on Epic Games. I would love to see there be a true universal platform at some point, but we'll see if that ever happens. He notes that Epic Games is a company going for an open platform model, but he points out that they're not the only one. Microsoft has previously said that it would like to see Xbox Game Pass on every system. Google streaming service Stadia will allow users to play on multiple platforms. EA, Ubisoft, and Activision are also on board for open platforms, allowing customers to play whatever they want, whenever they want. So I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about this. I know there's a lot of hate around Epic Game Store right now, so I feel like to an extent there's nothing that they could do that's right, but I feel like this is actually kind of blurring the lines towards what's right and wrong. I feel like they are pushing towards something great, but I feel like in a sense that a lot of people aren't even going to truly understand. They're kind of bullying Steam in the same way. I mean, who knows if Steam would even possibly be able to do that, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So thank you guys for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for the support. Peace out.
Didn't come to my birthday party, rude, but they all found time to go fight the warrior. Like this would be like some